I'm inviting you on air to disavow whether or not you have any affiliations or connections with the KKK. So let's just take the portion of your book that Vivek Ramaswamy quoted. It reads as following. The remedy for past discrimination is present discrimination. The remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination, end quote. This is from your book. Ramaswamy says that's racism. How do you deal with the fact that somebody just slings this comment? Really, it's a slur, calling you akin to a grand wizard of the KKK.
Well, I mean, as a scholar, all I can do is set the record straight and set the truth straight. And the fact of the matter is that the modern Klan actually hates me. And you know who the modern Klan loves? The very candidate that Vivek praises every chance he gets, and that's Donald Trump, who, of course, described modern white supremacists as very fine people, who told them to stand back and stand by, who did nothing as they recruited or as they recruit white teens online, who has done nothing as they terrorize and murder people of color and Jews and Muslims and women. But Vivek is praising Trump, even though he is the one who has made grand wizards of the Ku Klux Klan of old proud, and who are being supported by current grand wizards of the Ku Klux Klan.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Another day, and that means another video about Vivek Ramaswamy being attacked by the mainstream liberal media, okay? The mainstream, they're literally losing their minds, okay? They are losing their minds over this guy because he is a non-white, conservative, Republican GOP candidate that is coming out here and saying things that really, really, really pisses them off because he's turning the left's own tactics against them, specifically when it comes to this conversation about race. And they can't stand it. They can't stand it, okay? Recently, he came out and made comments about Ayanna Pressley and Ibram X. Kendi, who are race hustlers on the left and in the Democrat Party. He said, look, their rhetoric is akin to basically being grand wizards of the modern day KKK. Okay. I mean, they would make KKK wizards proud, considering the rhetoric that they constantly spew, the racism that they push, specifically, again, racism against black people who disagree with the leftist agenda. And in my opinion, I think he's correct. Okay. I think he's correct. And there's nothing wrong with what he said, especially considering the attacks and the comparisons that are always levied at conservatives in regards to calling them Nazis, white supremacists, Klans members. But again, apparently when Vivek Ramaswamy uses the Democrats' own tactic and the left's tactics back against them, they want to boohoo, whine, and cry, right? Like, for example, you have this guy, Ali Velshi, who is an Indian that works at MSNBC. MSNBC basically pushed him to go on television and to boohoo, whine, and cry about Vivek Ramaswamy's comments and his so-called conspiracy theories that, again, according to mainstream liberal media, are dangerous.
God is real. There are two genders. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family is the greatest form of governance known to man. Capitalism lifts us up from poverty. There are 3 branches of government, not 4. And the U.S. Constitution, it is the strongest guarantor of freedom in human history. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what will win us the revolution of 2024.
Now, behind the smile and the charismatic quips are some ideas and beliefs that are really quite alarming. Vivek Ramaswamy has peddled dangerous conspiracy theories about January 6th, claiming it was driven by excessive government censorship. He pushed as recently as this month a conspiracy about 9/11, suggesting it may have been an inside job by the U.S. government. His campaign claims he was misquoted, but the recently released audio recording of the incident sure makes it sound like he was, in fact, pushing the conspiracy. And then there are his policy ideas. He believes the United States should stop providing aid to Ukraine immediately, that Ukraine should concede the Donbas region to Russia. He wants to raise the voting age to 25 unless young people serve in the military or pass a test. He's pledged to abolish key government agencies like the FBI, the Department of Education, and the IRS. He said that the climate change agenda is a hoax and that increased investment in fossil fuels are a necessity for human flourishing. He has promised to pardon Donald Trump on his first day in office, and it doesn't end there. Just yesterday, Ramaswamy said he would like Elon Musk as an advisor when he wins the presidency, and then he likened the progressive Democratic representative Ayanna Pressley and the activist and author Ibram Kendi to grand wizards of the Ku Klux Klan. He just said two black progressive people are like grand wizards of the Ku Klux Klan. And by the way, he said that climate change refugees, of which at last count there was an estimated 20 million, simply don't exist. And he believes social welfare programs are incentivizing young women to abandon the idea of a nuclear family and has convinced them to avoid traditional marriage. Ramaswamy has been gaining on DeSantis in recent polls, though still trailing Trump by about 50 points. He was cheered and booed and faced heavy criticism and gained lots of new donors. True, his presidential bid is still a very long shot, but eyes wide open as we see a brand new conspiracy theorist start taking the spotlight.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? The mainstream liberal media can sit there and lie to your face and tell you that Vivek Ramaswamy said that 9/11 was an inside job when he clearly did not say it, okay? I think that MSNBC should issue a retraction. I think Vivek should probably, think about suing them because he definitely did not say that, okay? I mean, that is a straight up smear, okay? But hey, again, like I told you guys, these people, they're really going out to Vivek Ramaswamy because he is a real threat, okay? The worst nightmare of a liberal, of a Democrat, is a Republican, a conservative who's not white and is smart enough to use their own tactics against them. They fear the guy more than anybody else in the GOP besides Trump, of course. They fear Trump more than anybody because of this, okay? They know that this man is not playing games. They know that he can turn the tables on them, especially when it comes to this conversation about race. So again, the attacks are just it's gonna get crazy, right? But he's the only one that's willing to go on the mainstream liberal media and to consistently fight back against the narrative, okay? So I actually want to play this clip here from CNN of him talking to Dana Bash about this issue. And Dana Bash is, again, going to get all butthurt about this. But, again, she wasn't butthurt about these same type of smears being levied against the GOP. So let's watch this.
Comments from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She reportedly said, quote, "We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice." About that, you said, "These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK." You know, I'm sure, the KKK was responsible for more than a century's worth of horrific lynchings, rapes, murders of black people. How in any way are the views you're talking about comparable to the views and atrocities committed by the KKK?
Again, you know what's funny about this? She will never ask a Democrat this question. She would never ask Ayanna Pressley, why do you think it's okay to tell black people that you're not actually really black if they don't agree with you? Why do you think that's okay? Why do you think it's okay to call people like Ron DeSantis a Klansman, right? Call him a grand wizard. Why do you think it was okay to call him that? Why do you think it's okay to call the GOP white supremacists? What have the GOP done that would compare them to Nazis, right? Because there's always levy against the GOP, calling them Nazis, fascists, Klansmen, white supremacists. I've never heard Dana Bash have one issue with Democrats and liberals levying these same types of accusations at conservatives. I've never seen it. But now she wants to boo-hoo, why you call black people your Klansmen? Like, I can't, bro. I can't with all this fake pearl clutching.
What I said is the grand wizards of the KKK would be proud of what they would hear her say, because there's nothing more racist than saying that your skin color predicts something about the content of your viewpoints.
You didn't just say they would be proud. You said these are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK.
It is the same spirit. You're right about that, Dana. I think.
Yeah, so this is the thing about Vivek, right? There's a lot of criticism against him. A lot of them, 95% of them, not legit, right? Not legit. But one legitimate criticism of him is that when it comes to him being presented with his own words, he does his thing where he tries to kind of twist it a little bit so that it doesn't sound as controversial. And I understand why he's doing that as a debate tactic, but he needs to just like say, yeah, I said it, right? I said it, and what? Okay, that's what he needs to start doing. Just come out here and say, look, yeah, I said it. These people sound like the modern day grand wizards of the KKK. That's exactly what they sound like. I said it, right? That's like my one big criticism of him. Okay, that when he's presented with his own word, he does his thing where he tries to twist it so that it sounds a little bit better. And I understand why he's doing that, but he really needs to just stand by what you said, right? Just stand by it.
I think it is the same spirit to say that I can look at you and based on just your skin color, that I know something about the content of your character, that I know something about the content of the viewpoints you're allowed to express. For Ayanna Pressley to tell me that because of my skin color, I can't express my views, that is wrong. It is divisive. It is driving hate in this country. This is dividing our country to a breaking point.
That is a debate that is based on nonviolent discussion. That you just said you're using rhetoric, which she said she's using rhetoric. That's one thing, and another thing,
something she don't want to address. That's the thing that she don't want to talk about. She think that's totally fine, that's okay, that's legit. She would never bring Ayanna Pressley on her show and take her to task the same way she's doing with Vivek Ramaswamy. She would never do it because she would be accused of racism, okay, and she would lose her job for it.
Is to say that she represents and she is a modern version of a KKK, which, as you know, was dedicated to the subjugation and violence against black people. How on earth is she a modern grand wizard of that kind of organization?
Let's be intellectually honest and get to the heart of what this debate ought to be about. There is a worldview that says that the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination, that if you're black or brown, you have to have a particular point of view. That's from Ibram Kendi. That's from Ayanna Pressley, the people I quoted in my speech yesterday.
But can you have an intellectually honest conversation when you accuse her of being a grand wizard of the KKK?
Can you have an intellectual conversation when you're telling people that if you have a certain skin color and you don't agree with me, then you're not really black, right? Can you have an intellectual conversation about that when that's what people are saying? Again, she takes no issue. She takes no issue with people on the left constantly smearing people on the right, equating them to violent groups like Nazis. She's never said anything about it. She's never had an issue with it. Now, all of a sudden, again, it's this pearl clutching because Vivek is using the left's tactic against him. Again, it's amazing.
Can you have that intellectually honest discussion with that kind of rhetoric?
Yes, I can, Dana, because the point I'm highlighting is that even the people who, in good spirit, we all agree that the KKK was an awful organization that is a toxic stain in our national history. So given that we can start from that point of agreement, now that allows us to say, well, who actually sounds more like that organization today? The people who are calling for more racial discrimination on the basis of skin color. So yes, I think that is an intellectually useful starting point for a provocative discussion that we need to have in this country.
The whole point is the KKK wasn't just about rhetoric.
We have to speak openly.
They lynched people, they murdered people, they raped people, they burned their homes.
And that was wrong.
Simply
that was obviously wrong.
Wrong. Okay, again,
that is obviously a wrong thing.
If you want to have an intellectual discussion, do you think that maybe comparing her to the Grand Wizard and the notion of what she said to being a modern leader of the KKK was maybe a step too far?
No,
or you stand by
what
you said?
Not in politics where, again, our side, the right, we're always accused of being Nazis. No, it's not a step too far.
I stand by what I said to provoke an open and honest discussion in this country.
Yeah. So, again, it's just so funny how she's so upset. She's so upset. But again, how many times have you seen this type of rhetoric being used against the right? Now when Vivek has used it against them, now they're all bent out of shape, right? Their butt hurt, they're crying. You called them the modern day KKK. We hurt. We don't like it. We don't like it. We don't like it when you use our tactics against us. We don't like it. Amazing. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.